The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was the largest room Captain Sarah Chen had ever seen. It stretched upward like a mountain turned inside out. Thousands of seats rose in circles around a central platform. Each seat held a being from a different world. Some had scales. Some had feathers. Some were made of light, or crystal, or things Sarah could not name. She stood alone on the central platform. Her dark blue uniform felt heavy on her shoulders. The golden eagle badge of Earth's United Fleet caught the light from 100 different suns that shone through the glass ceiling. This was supposed to be a simple day, a ceremony, nothing more. The Galactic Council had spent 10 years on a project. They wanted to translate the true names of every homeworld. Not the names species used now, but the old names. The names from before spaceflight. The names from when each species was young and alone on their world. It was meant to be beautiful. A celebration of how far everyone had come. High linguist Vorteth stood at his podium. He was tall and thin, with 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern on his gray face. His people, the Velkari, were famous for their love of languages. They believed that names held power. That knowing the true name of something meant knowing its soul. Sarah watched as Vorteth read from his datapad. He announced each world's name with pride in his voice. Velenthor, he said, gesturing to the delegates from that world. Your true name means Sunset Gardens, a world of beauty and peace. The Velanthor delegates, beings with golden skin and 6 arms, bowed their heads with pride. Crix Prime, Vorteth continued. The gentle waters, a world born from kindness. The Crixians, who looked like walking jellyfish, pulsed with happy colors. One by one, Vorteth revealed the names. Each one was beautiful, peaceful, soft. Sarah smiled politely and waited for her turn. She wondered what Earth's old name would be. Probably something about the ground or the soil. Earth meant dirt, after all. Nothing special. Far above the station, Admiral Voss Renhart sat in the command chair of the UES Endurance. He was a big man with gray hair, cut short, and eyes that had seen too many battles. 47 human ships floated in formation behind him. They were the first human fleet to travel this far from home. Renhart watched the ceremony through a video feed. He did not trust the council. He did not trust anyone who smiled too much and asked too many questions about human history. But orders were orders. Earth wanted peace. Earth wanted trade. Earth wanted friends among the stars. So Renhart waited and watched. Back in the Great Hall, Vorteth reached the end of his list. Only one name remained. And now, he said. Sarah straightened her back. She felt the eyes of 10,000 aliens turn toward her. Vorteth looked at his datapad. His 4 eyes scanned the translation. Then, they scanned it again. His gray skin turned pale, almost white. This cannot be correct, he whispered. The hall fell silent. Sarah felt a cold feeling crawl up her spine. High Linguist? Asked a voice from the upper seats. It was High Counselor Methari. She was ancient, even by alien standards. Her body was made of living crystal that had grown for over 10,000 years. She was the oldest being in the council. Is there a problem? Vorteth's hands shook. His datapad fell from his fingers and clattered on the floor. He looked at Sarah with something she had never seen in an alien's eyes before. Fear. Pure and simple fear. The name, he said. His voice cracked. Earth's true name. The one from before humans had writing. Before they had cities. The name they whispered around their first fires. What is it? Vorteth opened his mouth. No sound came out. He tried again. It translates to, the survivor's arena. He paused. His whole body trembled. Or more accurately, that which remains after everything dies. For one heartbeat, nothing happened. Then chaos exploded through the hall. A Velanthor delegate screamed and ran for the exit. The Crixians turned black with terror and fled in a wave of tentacles. Beings that Sarah had never seen show emotion were now crying, shouting, pushing each other to escape. "What is happening?" Sarah shouted. No one answered her. No one would even look at her. On the Endurance, Admiral Renhart watched the chaos unfold. His crew looked at him with confused eyes. "Sir," said his communications officer, "we're picking up transmissions from every alien ship in the system. They're all saying the same thing." "What are they saying?" The officer swallowed hard. "Death World confirmed. Category: Absolute. In 2024, when the Death World and Restroom." End quote. Renhart stood up slowly. "Get me Captain Chen. Now. Now." Renhart stood up slowly. But the signal would not connect. The station had sealed itself. Every door, every window, every communication line was locked. Sarah was trapped. She stood alone on the platform as the last aliens fled the hall. Only one remained. High Counselor Methari floated down from her seat. Her crystal body made soft, chiming sounds as she moved. "You do not understand," Methari said. Her voice was like wind through glass. "Do you?" "No," Sarah admitted. "I do not understand anything that just happened." Methari stopped a few feet away from Sarah. Up close, Sarah could see colors moving inside the crystal. Memories, perhaps. Or emotions. "Long ago," Methari said, "before any of us reached the stars, there was another civilization. We call them the Precursors. They seeded life across the galaxy. They created us all. I know the stories," Sarah said. "They left warnings," Methari continued. "Prophecies. One of them spoke of a world called the Arena. A world of death and pain. A world where only the strongest could survive." Sarah felt cold. Very cold. The prophecy said that one day, the children of the Arena would find the stars. And when they did, Methari's crystal body flickered. The age of peace would end. After, the age of peace would end. "We are not here to end peace," Sarah said firmly. "We came in friendship." Methari looked at her with eyes that had seen civilizations rise and fall. "Perhaps you believe that," she said softly. "But the prophecy does not care what you believe. It only cares what you are." Outside the station, more alien ships dropped out of hyperspace. Hundreds. Then, thousands. All of them, pointing their weapons at the 47 human ships. Admiral Renhart counted them. He did not flinch. "Well," he said to no one in particular. "This day just got a lot more complicated." On the station, alone with the ancient crystal being, Captain Sarah Chen made a decision. She would not run. She would not hide. She would find out what was happening, and then she would make them understand that Earth's children were not monsters. They were survivors, and survivors do not give up. The hours passed slowly on Council Station Apex. Sarah Chen sat in a small waiting room with gray walls and no windows. They had taken her communication device. They had taken her weapons. They had left her with nothing but her uniform and her thoughts. She could hear sounds through the walls. Footsteps running. Voices shouting in languages she did not understand. Alarms that would ring for a moment and then stop. The galaxy was afraid. And Sarah was the reason why. Far away, but not far enough, Admiral Renhart paced the bridge of the Endurance. His 47 ships held their position. Around them, the alien fleet had grown to over 8,000 vessels. More arrived every hour. "Any word from Captain Chen?" Renhart asked. "Nothing, sir," replied Lieutenant Park, his communications officer. "The station is completely locked down. No signals in or out." Renhart stopped pacing. He looked at the main screen. The alien ships were beautiful in their own way. Strange shapes, glowing engines, weapons that could turn his fleet to dust in seconds. But none of them had fired. "Not yet. They're scared," Renhart said quietly. "Scared people make mistakes." "Sir?" Lieutenant Park looked confused. Get me, Commander Torres. I want our ships ready to move at any moment. But no one fires unless I give the order. Understood? Yes, sir. Renhart sat back down in his chair. He was an old soldier. He had fought in 3 wars back on Earth. He had seen what fear could do to people. How it made them do terrible things. He would not let fear destroy humanity's first chance at peace. Back on the station, the door to Sarah's room finally opened. A being walked in that she had never seen before. It was small, no taller than her waist, with purple fur and eyes that were too large for its face. It moved on 4 legs and carried a datapad and a tail that ended in small fingers. I am Keeper Knox, the being said. Its voice was high and soft. I am the assistant to High Counselor Methari. She has sent me to explain things to you. Sarah stood up. I want to contact my fleet. That is not possible at this time. Knox climbed onto a chair and sat down. But I can answer your questions. The High Counselor believes you deserve to understand why everyone is so afraid. Knox climb. Knox climb. Sarah sat down across from the small alien. Then, explain. Why did everyone run when they heard Earth's old name? Knox pulled up something on the datapad. Every species in the galaxy evolved on what we call garden worlds. Planets that are safe. Planets that help life grow. Gentle weather. Stable temperatures. Few predators. That sounds nice. Sarah said. It is how life is supposed to develop. Knox turned the datapad to show Sarah. This is the average garden world. Temperature stays between 15 and 25 degrees. No major natural disasters. Predators exist, but are rare and easily avoided. Sarah nodded slowly. Knox pulled up another image. Sarah recognized it immediately. It was Earth. This is your world, Knox said. When our scientists first studied it, they thought there had been a mistake. They thought the data was corrupted. Why? Knox made a sound that might have been a nervous laugh. Because no living thing should be able to survive there. The small alien began to read from the datapad. Your planet has over 1,500 active volcanoes. It experiences approximately 500,000 earthquakes every year. Your atmosphere contains 21% oxygen, which is dangerously high and makes your entire world flammable. Sarah frowned. That's just normal. It is not normal. Knox's voice went higher. Your world has massive storms that can level cities, waves of water that can drown continents. The ground itself opens up and swallows everything, and the temperature varies by over 100 degrees depending on where you stand. Well, yes, Sarah admitted. But we learned to deal with all of that. Knox stared at her. Your planet has predators in every environment. In the water, in the air, on the land. Some of them are microscopic. Some of them are larger than this room. And the worst part, the alien leaned closer. The worst part is that the life on your world fights back. It evolves. It adapts. Your bacteria and viruses change constantly, becoming stronger, becoming deadlier. Your world is not just dangerous. It is actively trying to kill everything on it. Sarah was quiet for a moment. She had never thought about Earth that way. To her, it was just home. It was normal. The precursors left warnings about worlds like yours, Knox continued. They called them death worlds. Planets where only the strongest, most stubborn, most violent life could survive. Most death worlds never develop intelligent life. The conditions are too harsh. But yours did. And that's why everyone is scared, Sarah said. Because we survived when we shouldn't have. You did more than survive. Knox put down the datapad. You conquered your world. You tamed fire, even though your atmosphere should have made fire too dangerous to control. You split the atom, even though that should have destroyed you. You built machines that could leave your planet, even though every force on your world tried to stop you. Knox looked at Sarah with those 2 large eyes. The prophecy of the Precursors says that the children of the arena will be unstoppable, that they will have been forged by death itself, that nothing in the galaxy will be able to stand against them. Sarah stood up. She walked to the wall and placed her hand against it. "We didn't know," she said quietly. "We didn't know we were different." "That makes it worse," Knox replied. "You don't even realize how terrifying you are. To you, surviving impossible odds is just Tuesday." Sarah almost laughed. It was true. In a way, humans had always faced disaster, war, disease, famine, and they had always found a way through. "What happens now?" she asked. "The council is voting," Knox said. "They are deciding whether to quarantine your species, to lock you on your world forever. Some are calling for stronger measures." Sarah's blood went cold. "They want to destroy us. Some do." Knox climbed down from the chair. "High Counselor Methari does not. She is old enough to know that fear is a poor guide for making decisions. She wants to understand you before she judges you." "Then let me talk to her," Sarah said. "Let me explain that we came here in peace." Knox moved toward the door. "She will see you soon. But first, she wants to study something." "What?" The small alien paused at the doorway. "Your history. All of it. The good and the bad. She wants to know what kind of species grows on a death world." The door closed, leaving Sarah alone again. She thought about Earth, about the wars, the diseases, the disasters, all the times humanity had nearly destroyed itself, all the times they had been knocked down and gotten back up. If Methari wanted to know what kind of species grew on a death world, Sarah would tell her. The kind that never gives up. The kind that looks at impossible odds and says, "Watch me." The kind that survived everything the universe threw at them and came out stronger. Sarah sat down and waited. Soon, she would have her chance to speak, and when she did, she would make them understand. High Counselor Methari's private chamber was unlike anything Sarah had seen on the station. The walls were made of growing crystal, alive and warm. Soft light came from everywhere and nowhere. The air smelled like flowers after rain. Sarah stood in the center of the room. Methari floated before her, her ancient crystal body catching the light and breaking it into rainbows. "Thank you for agreeing to speak with me," Methari said. Her voice was gentle, patient, like a grandmother speaking to a child. "I didn't have much choice," Sarah replied. "I'm a prisoner. You are a guest." Methari moved closer. "A guest in a house that is very, very afraid. I apologize for the way you have been treated. Fear makes people forget their manners." Sarah relaxed a little. This alien, at least, was willing to talk. "May I ask you some questions?" Methari asked. "Simple questions about your world. I want to understand." "Ask whatever you want." Methari's crystal body shifted. Colors moved inside her like slow thoughts. "Your world has a moon. A large satellite that orbits very close to your planet. Yes, we call it the moon. Do you know how it got there?" Sarah thought back to her school days. Scientists believe a planet the size of Mars crashed into Earth billions of years ago. The debris formed the moon. Methari was silent for a long moment. "Your planet was hit by another planet, and it survived. Well, my world would have been destroyed." Methari's voice was very quiet. "Most worlds would have been destroyed, but yours kept going. It reformed. It healed. And then life grew on it anyway." Sarah had never thought about it that way. The moon had always just been there, a beautiful thing in the night sky. She had never considered that its creation should have been the end of everything. "Let me ask you more questions," Methari continued. "Your planet experiences something called seasons. Can you explain this?" "The Earth tilts on its axis," Sarah said. "So, different parts of the planet get more or less sunlight throughout the year. That creates summer and winter." "And how much does the temperature change between these seasons?" Sarah shrugged. "Depends on where you are. Some places change by 50 degrees or more. Others hardly change at all. Methari made a sound like breaking glass. Sarah realized it was a gasp. Your species adapts to 50-degree temperature changes every year. As a normal part of life, some people move to warmer places during winter, Sarah offered. But most people just put on heavier clothes. Heavier clothes. Methari repeated the words slowly. You change your external covering to survive deadly temperature shifts. And you consider this normal. Doesn't everyone? No. Methari floated backward. Most species would die. Their bodies cannot handle such changes. We evolved in stable environments. You evolved in chaos. The ancient alien pulled up a holographic display. Images appeared in the air between them. Sarah recognized some of them. A volcano erupting. A hurricane spinning over an ocean. An earthquake splitting the ground. These events happen on your world regularly, Methari said. How do your people survive them? We build better buildings, Sarah said. We create warning systems. We help each other when disasters strike. We rebuild what gets destroyed. You rebuild, always. Methari dismissed the disaster images. New images appeared. Animals. A lion with its mouth open. A shark cutting through water. A spider building a web. Your world has predators. Methari said. Many predators. Yes. These creatures hunt other creatures. They kill to survive. That's how nature works, Sarah said. Methari's crystal body flickered. Not on most worlds. On most worlds, life is cooperative. Creatures share resources. Predators are rare mutations that die out quickly because they disrupt the natural harmony. She zoomed in on the image of the lion. This creature weighs over 400 pounds. It has claws that can tear through metal. Teeth that can crush bone. It is one of the most efficient killing machines in the known galaxy. Sarah nodded. We call them lions. They're beautiful animals. Beautiful. Methari said the word, like she was tasting something strange. This creature could kill you in seconds. And you call it beautiful. We've learned to live with dangerous animals. We respect them. Some people even work to protect them. You protect your predators. They're part of our world. They deserve to exist too. Methari was quiet for a very long time. The colors inside her crystal body moved faster. Sarah could not tell what the alien was feeling. Finally, Methari spoke again. I have studied your history. All of it. 10,000 years of recorded events. Sarah felt a knot form in her stomach. Human history was not always pretty. You have fought wars, Methari said. Hundreds of wars. Thousands of wars. Yes, Sarah admitted. We have. You have created weapons that could destroy your entire planet. Weapons powered by splitting atoms. Weapons that leave poison in the ground for generations. Yes, you have hunted your own predators to extinction. You have poisoned your own air and water. You have caused suffering on scales that I cannot comprehend. Sarah said nothing. There was nothing to say. It was all true. But then Methari did something unexpected. She moved closer to Sarah. Her crystal hand reached out and gently touched Sarah's shoulder. And yet, the ancient alien said softly, You are still here. Sarah looked up. You built weapons that could destroy everything. But you did not use them. You came to the edge of extinction, and you stepped back. Why? Sarah thought about the question. It was the most important question anyone had ever asked her. Because we wanted to live, she said finally. More than we wanted to win. More than we wanted to be right. We looked at what we could become, and we chose to be something better. Methari's crystal body glowed brighter. You chose. Yes. We chose peace. We chose cooperation. We chose to work together instead of fighting each other. It wasn't easy. We failed many times. But we kept trying. The Precursor prophecy says that the children of the arena will bring destruction, Methari said. But prophecies speak of what could be, not what must be. We don't want to destroy anyone, Sarah said firmly. We came here looking for friends. For allies. For people to share the universe with. Not enemies. Methari floated back. She seemed to be thinking deeply. The council will vote soon, she said. Most of them want to lock your species away forever. Some want to destroy you, before you can destroy them. And what do you want? Sarah asked. The ancient alien's crystal body chimed softly. I want to believe that a species forged in fire can choose to bring light instead of burning everything down. I want to believe that the prophecy was a warning, not a destiny. She turned toward the door. I will speak to the council. I will ask them to give you a chance to speak, but I cannot promise they will listen. ETT 3PH7 2. Thank you, Sarah said. Methari paused at the door. One more question, Captain Chen. Your people have survived everything. Death, war, disease, disaster. Why do you keep going? What drives you? Sarah smiled. It was a simple question with a simple answer. Hope, she said. We always hope that tomorrow will be better than today. And we work to make it happen. Methari left without another word. But Sarah saw the colors inside the ancient alien shift before she disappeared. She was not sure, but she thought it might have been the color of hope. Admiral Voss Renhart stood at the window of his ready room and watched the alien fleet grow. 10,000 ships now surrounded his 47. Each one was larger and more powerful than anything humans had ever built. He should have been afraid. Any sane person would be afraid, but Renhart had stopped being afraid a long time ago. Fear was a luxury for people who had options. He did not have options. He had a mission. Keep humanity alive, no matter what. His door chimed. Enter, he said. Commander Elena Torres walked in. She was young for her rank, with sharp eyes and a mind like a computer. Renhart had chosen her as his second in command because she never panicked. The council has finished voting, Torres said. The result is not good. Tell me. Permanent quarantine of Earth. No human ship will ever be allowed to leave our solar system again. And they're debating a second measure. Renhart turned to face her. What measure? Torres hesitated. Sterilization. Some council members want to bombard Earth with radiation. Kill everything on the surface. Just to be safe. On the surface. Renhart's jaw tightened. 10,000 years of human history. 8 billion lives. Gone because some aliens read a scary story, written by a dead civilization. No. He said quietly. That will not happen. Sir, we're outnumbered 200 to 1. Our weapons can't even scratch their shields. I know. Renhart walked to his desk and sat down. Get me a channel to every alien commander in the fleet. I want to speak to all of them at once. Torres looked surprised. You want to talk to them? What will you say? The truth. Renhart smiled grimly. It's the only weapon we have left. 20 minutes later, the channel was open. Renhart sat in his command chair on the bridge of the Endurance. Every screen showed a different alien face. Hundreds of species. Thousands of eyes. All watching him. My name is Admiral Voss Renhart of the United Earth Fleet. He began. I know you're afraid of us. I know what your translation revealed about our world. I know what your prophecies say. He paused. The aliens were listening. That was something. I'm not here to tell you that the prophecies are wrong. I'm here to tell you a story. Renhart pressed a button. Images appeared on every alien screen. Images from Earth's history. 200 years ago, my species almost destroyed itself. We created weapons that could turn our entire planet into a dead rock. Bombs that burned hotter than stars. Poisons that killed everything they touched. The images showed mushroom clouds. Ruined cities. Mass graves. We came so close to the end. Our leaders pointed these weapons at each other. Their fingers hovered over the buttons. One wrong word. One moment of fear. And humanity would have died. Renhart let the silence stretch. But we didn't push the buttons. The images changed. They showed people shaking hands, treaties being signed, walls coming down. We chose to live. We chose to work together. It took time. We made mistakes. We fought small wars, even as we learned to prevent big ones. But slowly, year by year, generation by generation, we changed. He leaned forward. You look at us and see weapons that walked out of hell. You see predators that survived a death world. And you're right. That's what we are. That's what our planet made us. Renhart stood up. But here's what you're missing. We're also the species that looked into the abyss and chose not to jump. We're the species that held the power of stars in our hands and decided not to burn everything down. We're the species that chose hope over fear. He spread his arms wide. You can destroy us. You have the ships. You have the weapons. We can't stop you. But before you make that choice, I want you to ask yourself one question. Renhart's voice dropped low. Serious. If your species had survived what we survived, would you have made the same choice? If your world had tried to kill you every single day, would you still have learned mercy? Would you still have learned peace? The alien commanders said nothing. But they were still listening. We came here looking for friends, Renhart continued. Not because we need you. We survived 10,000 years alone. We can survive 10,000 more. We came because we're tired of being alone. We came because we believe the universe is better when people work together. He sat back down. That's all I wanted to say. You'll make whatever decision you make. But remember this. The children of the arena didn't come here to conquer. They came here to connect. What happens next is up to you. The channel closed. The screens went dark. Torres looked at Renhart with something like awe. Sir, that was incredible. It was a gamble, Renhart said quietly. Now we wait and see if it pays off. On the station, Sarah Chen received a message. The council had agreed to let her speak. One chance. One speech. She would stand before the beings who wanted to destroy her species and try to convince them to show mercy. Keeper Knox led her through winding corridors to the Great Hall. It was full again. 10,000 aliens packed the seats. But this time, they did not run when they saw her. They watched her, with careful eyes. High Counselor Methari floated at the center of the room. Captain Chen, you have requested the right to speak under the ancient law. The law says that any sapient being facing extinction may address their accusers. Do you understand this, right? I understand, Sarah said. Then speak. But know this. Words alone may not save your species. Many here have already decided that you are too dangerous to live. Sarah climbed onto the central platform. She felt very small, very alone. She thought about everyone on Earth. Her parents in their small house in Beijing. Her sister in Toronto. Her friends scattered across the planet. 8 billion people who had no idea that their fate rested on her shoulders. She took a deep breath. I know you're afraid of us, she began. I've seen fear before. On my world, we lived with fear every day. Fear of storms. Fear of predators. Fear of each other. The hall was silent. Every alien watched her. Fear is powerful. Fear makes you run. Fear makes you fight. Fear makes you do terrible things to protect yourself. I understand fear. Sarah straightened her spine. But I also know something else about fear. It lies. Fear tells you that the only way to be safe is to destroy whatever scares you. Fear tells you that there's no other option. Fear makes you forget that there's always another way. She looked up at the thousands of alien faces. You're afraid of what we might do. But you haven't seen what we choose to do. You haven't seen us at our best. You've only seen the darkness in our history. You haven't seen the light. Sarah clenched her fists. Give us a chance to show you. Give us a chance to prove that the children of the arena can be friends, not enemies. Give us a chance to be better than your prophecies. The hall remained silent, but Sarah saw something in the eyes of the beings watching her. Not anger, not fear, curiosity. It was a start. Sarah stood on the platform and felt the silence press against her like a physical weight. 10,000 aliens watched her. 10,000 beings who had the power to end humanity forever. She had started her speech. She had asked for a chance. Now she needed to make them believe. You translated our world's name, Sarah said. You called it the Survivor's Arena. A place where only the strongest live. A place where everything dies. She began to walk slowly across the platform. You're not wrong. Our world is brutal. It breaks things. It kills things. It doesn't care if you survive or not. We learned that lesson before we could walk. Before we could talk. Before we were even human. Sarah stopped and looked directly at High Counselor Methari. But here's what your translation missed. An arena isn't just a place where things die. An arena is a place where things are tested, where they're pushed to their limits, where they discover what they're truly made of. She turned to face the wider audience. Your prophecy says we will end the age of peace, that we will bring destruction. But prophecies see possibilities, not certainties. They see what could happen, not what will happen. Sarah's voice grew stronger. Yes, we come from a world that tried to kill us every day. Yes, we learned to fight. We learned to be strong. We learned to never give up. But we also learned something else, something your prophecy didn't predict. She raised her hand and pointed at her own chest. We learned to love. We learned to hope. We learned to dream of better things. Every time our world knocked us down, we got back up. Not because we wanted to destroy, because we wanted to build. And Sarah began walking again, making eye contact with aliens in every section of the Great Hall. You look at our history and see wars. You see weapons. You see death. But look closer. Look at what happened after the wars. Look at what we built on the ashes. She gestured with both hands. We built hospitals to heal the sick. We built schools to teach the young. We built bridges across rivers that divided us. We built ships to cross oceans that separated us. We built rockets to escape the world that made us. Sarah's voice cracked with emotion. We didn't do those things because we were strong. We did them because we were stubborn. Because no matter how many times we fell, we refused to stay down. That's what the arena teaches. Not just how to survive, how to keep going. How to hope when hope seems impossible. She walked to the edge of the platform and looked up at the assembled aliens. You can destroy us. You have the power. We came here with 47 ships and open hands, and you surrounded us with an army. If you decide we're too dangerous to live, we cannot stop you. Sarah straightened her uniform. She stood tall. But ask yourselves this. If you kill us, what does that make you? You say we are violent. You say we are dangerous. But we came here in peace. We asked for friendship. If you destroy us for what we might do, rather than what we choose to do, then who are the real monsters? A murmur ran through the crowd. Sarah could see aliens shifting in their seats, whispering to each other. She pressed on. The children of the arena don't want war. We've had enough war. We've seen what it costs. We've buried too many friends and family. We've cried too many tears. We came to the stars because we hoped to find something better. Something we couldn't find at home. Connection. Understanding. Peace. Understanding. Understanding. Peace. Understanding. Understanding. Peace. Sarah extended her hand toward the audience. We're offering you our friendship, not because we're weak. We're offering friendship because we've learned that being strong isn't enough. Strength without connection is just power, and power without purpose is just destruction. She took a deep breath. So here's my offer. Take our hand. Let us show you what the children of the arena can do when they're not fighting for survival. Let us help you explore the dark places that scare you. Let us stand beside you against whatever threats the universe holds. Let us be your friends. Sarah lowered her hand and waited. Or destroy us. And prove that the prophecy was right. Not about us. About you. The silence stretched on for what felt like forever. Then, High Counselor Methari moved, the ancient crystal being floated down from her position and approached the platform. Her body was glowing brighter than Sarah had ever seen. Colors danced inside her like fireworks. Every alien in the hall watched as Methari stopped in front of Sarah. "I have lived for 10,000 years," Methari said. Her voice carried through the silent hall. "I have watched species destroy themselves with fear and hatred. I have seen the prophecy come true before, in different forms, with different peoples." She reached out with a crystal hand. "But I have never seen someone from a death world extend their hand in friendship. I have never seen a species forged in violence choose peace. I have never seen the children of an arena ask for connection instead of conquest." Methari took Sarah's hand. The crystal was warm. It hummed, with ancient energy. "Perhaps," Methari said, "it is time the galaxy learned from its most stubborn children." The hall erupted. Not in fear. Not in anger. In something that sounded almost like hope. On the Endurance, Admiral Renhart watched the broadcast. He saw Sarah Chen shaking hands with the ancient alien. He saw the vote change in real time. Quarantine rejected. Sterilization rejected. Friendship accepted. He smiled. The first real smile in days. "Stand down from battle stations," he ordered. 1 year later, a new fleet launched from Council Station Apex. 200 ships from 50 different species. Human ships flew alongside alien vessels. Different designs. Different technologies. Working together, Admiral Renhart commanded the fleet from a new ship, the UES Unity. Captain Sarah Chen led the vanguard in her own vessel, the UES Hope. Their mission was simple and impossible: to explore the galactic rim, to map the unknown territories where no species had ever survived, to face whatever darkness waited in the empty spaces between stars. The galaxy had feared the children of the arena. Now they followed them into the unknown, not because humans forced them, but because they finally understood what the arena had really taught humanity. Not just how to fight, not just how to survive, how to never give up, how to face the darkness and keep walking, how to hope. Captain Chen stood on the bridge of the Hope and looked at the stars ahead. Billions of lights, in infinite darkness. Countless mysteries waiting to be discovered. "Set course for the rim," she ordered. "Let's see what's out there." The fleet jumped to faster than light speed and vanished into the void. Behind them, the galaxy began to change. The age of fear was ending. The age of friendship had begun. And leading the way, stubborn as always, hopeful as always, were the children of the arena. Earth's children. Humanity. Still surviving. Still dreaming. Still reaching for the stars.